going on. Uh, it's like, I don't want to sound like the animal whisperer, but uh, I'm not sure if it is it like there's something strange going on with the animals. All right, the environment around here, there's been changes, and I noticed the personality of a couple of our cats, man, have like totally switched. Like they're really weirded out, man. I mean, animals feel trauma just like people do, and they do actually have kind of like you can tell they do love. And somewhere in I just heard a scripture that said the animals they know God. So there's a lot of people that would call me a pagan right now, a pagan witchcrafter. But when you look at the story of Adam, his job was to name all the animals. And you look at like Noah, and he gets all these animals on the ark. And there's all these descriptions of people, and they're described like with animal traits, or they're used as like an allegory, or I don't know, man. It's a language in itself. Whoa, what the heck? Well, that was really weird. Freaking somebody's yanking somebody's chain out there. Anyway, animal whispering or whatever, or strange animal behavior. I know full moons make the dogs go bat shizzle. So there are, not sure, cosmological factors that affect animals. You know what I'm saying? It seems like full moons, the animals do seem to get very active. You know what I mean? Then here's another thing. Animal behavior. You can tell. Animals either got they got like a demeanor. Are they evasive, or running, fleeing? Are they taking a stance like in preparation to fight? Or are they trying to communicate? Because I mean, basically, it's like body language. That's how animals see you. They can literally recognize your facial muscles, your voice tone. They can probably hear your heartbeat, your breath. If you breathe too deeply, for some reason, it really sketches the animals out. Like, for some reason, they can hear you breathe, and if you really breathe too deeply, it does seem to, like, especially dogs, they get right up in arms. Like, I'm not sure why yet, but that's something I've noticed. So I guess maybe you have to breathe very shallow, and in the dogs, it's kind of like, in a way, I don't know, it's kind of like a non-confrontational, submissive type of thing. That's like yeah. See, it's like I think the deep breath is a challenge. You know what I'm saying, to the dogs? Like, for some reason, like maybe when they go into that mode, they breathe the same way. Like, they start to breathe from the gut instead of the throat. Like, you see them when they go like that, right, with their tongue out, dog. When they do get mad, the tongue goes in, and you don't hear the you know what I'm saying? Anyway, but so I had some swans walk right up on me. This was the first close animal thing. Okay, besides that, the other day I was at this nature preserve, and I swear to you, dude, I was like 5 feet away from a deer. Or maybe 5 yards, maybe it's better. More like, yeah, probably 10, 15 feet. But what was weird is I was calling out to this freaking deer, and it stood there, and it looked right at me. It didn't run away. But I had a little dog with me, and when the little dog broke the safe space, the deer kind of just scurried off. But I mean, we sat there and had an eye contact exchange for maybe a few minutes. So I mean, dude, listen, that is definitely really really strange. Like normally deer, they freaking freak out when they see humans. I mean, so I thought that was really strange. Then the other day I seen a freaking rabbit, but it was very young. It was a juvenile, but I got right next to it and I was sitting there, and I mean I was right next to it. I literally could have reached out and touched it, but it sat there for a while and then finally it ran away. I mean, I'm not sure if it just played dead, but once again, that's strange. I ain't never got that close to wild rabbit. With normally they take off way. That don't happen. I even sat there, I pulled out my phone, took a picture of it, and recorded a little video of it. So that's another thing. Reaching in your pocket, pulling out a freaking device. Normally, an animal, when they see a lot of movement, it spooks them. Like once again, they can't. I don't know. Maybe they can understand your language, and it's just a trick that we would think they couldn't. You know, but I'm just gonna say they. It's probably. Heard some squeaky brakes. Like down in Florida, what do they say? That's the troll. That's short for patrol. It's the troll. Whenever you hear them squeaky brakes, man, it's that troll. Yeah. Anyway, but what this is kind of reminded me of, in a way, is there's a part in Isaiah where it says the wolf will lay down with the lamb, and the baby shall take up the serpent, and it won't be bit. And then the animals will drink the milk of the cows, and I mean, it's like a real, like everything is restored to peace, basically. And everything rejoices. The hills clap, and then everything's singing out a new song. Something to that effect. And I'm wondering if, to some extent, this is a foreshadow to that. But there's also the beasts of the field, which is another part of this red horse, which, I've kind of been delving into the bitterness. Is there an attachment to people getting bitter, like the love of many, because iniquity will abound in the land, the love of many shall wax cold. Well, what happens when the love of many waxes cold? These people are bitter. You know what I'm saying? They're hostile because they're bitter about people's iniquity, and maybe even their own. It's, in a way, it's kind of like you lose the will to resist your darker, lower impulses. You know what I'm saying? Instead of resisting the temptation or praying, God, deliver us from this evil, you just give up and just, it's like, hey, I got to do what I got to do. Kind of like that. And that's kind of a form of bitterness as well. Because, when you get your heart hurt bad enough, sometimes it flips it. And now it's prone to, it's prone, or it's like, it's kind of like, you can tune your diet to be a meat, like the Atkins diet, as opposed to just eating a lot of carbohydrates. For instance, if you keep eating the same thing long enough, your body will fine tune to that. And it's the same thing with like being bitter. If you let yourself be accustomed to bitterness, bitter will taste good to you, because like that's the only, it's, for some reason, that's the only thing you can feed off of. But the beasts of the field are a part of this red horse Revelations prophecy as well. So I mean, it's kind of weird. Like, look, and I noticed, like, it hasn't happened for that long, but the cat's really acting really freaking strange, and I'm not sure if it's because, like, maybe there's solar flares or something, or is there some kind of frequencies that are bombing them? I mean, I was watching the show tonight about how they would make cat spies. They'd basically stick them with the freaking microchip listening device, and they would use infrasound to control where the cats go. Like it's a It's a frequency where only the animals can hear it. You know, I mean, there's just this could be a factor as well. Is that how they're going to weaponize the beasts of the field for this Red Horse Army? Don't know. But I'll just tell you, I'll just tell you what I've been seeing. And, I mean, that's not quite the animals being tame. Yeah, and I also had a dog come running out at me, and I backed it down, and it was pretty, it's pretty cool. So, I've had a lot of weird animal run-ins, and it's also, I heard that the Bible says you can also watch the animals and learn things, like deeper mysteries of life, and, if you follow the animals, you can find out where the water at, that there's a lot of food sources that you can use an animal to, basically to locate. And that's done all the time with like bird dogs. They got bomb dogs. They got cadaver dogs. They got for instance. So that's one way they can be utilized. Like if you go into where there's a lot of bears at, you'll probably find honey and berries. For instance. You see a lot of wolves. You'll probably find game around there. Just stuff like that. Or you can see how they communicate to one another. Like birds basically have their harmonious sound, and then they got their alarm call, and you can listen when the bird switches from alarm to harmony. It conveys the state of mind of the bird. You know what I'm saying? And I've been noticing lately, like the other day I heard a bird let off this alarm call, and I knew something was around. And then I go poke my nose over there, and the cat was just kind of lounging there in the bushes. I almost couldn't see it, but once I got around this bush, I could see it there. And I knew something was there because the way the bird let off the alarm call. Just for instance, I'm just throwing these things out here. This is some of them trees that it's just woodland skill in a way, but it doesn't necessarily have to be woodlands, because I'm right out here in kind of on the edge of the hood, and I could go out in my backyard and still communicate with the birds. There's freaking groundhogs, woodchucks, and possums, and skunks, and cats galore over around here. So you get some pretty cool stuff here and there. Like tonight I heard the freaking skunks out there, they were like, making the craziest sound, like a freaking monkey. But I don't know, it's just, you can't, I can't call in the animals, but, I can, I'm getting pretty good at observing them and, learning how to, in a way, you kind of got to walk up. It's good to don't walk up squared up. Like body language once again. If you're squared up, you got both your shoulders, nose pointed at them, both your knees pointed at them. It's like you make yourself look like you're imposing. But if you come at them sideways like this, it kind of throws off your silhouette and you look less of a threat. And you can kind of walk up, shuffle up there, and you want to kind of throw off your body language, and it tricks the animal a little bit. And, here's another thing. One time I was just sitting there really still, and I was chilling around this corner, and no joke, a cat, like a tomcat, goes walking by me. It was like 3 feet away, and then it walked past me, and I was sitting there, and I didn't make any noise, and then I made a loud breath. You know what I'm saying? And then all of a sudden the cat looked at me with huge eyes, and then it took off running. So, look, the animals can be, even a cat with great senses and smell and sound and sight, especially, and it was at night. Cats they got infrared eyes, basically. And, you can even trick these things a little bit. It's just, they recognize fast movement. You know what I'm saying? But if you sit still enough, it's almost like you blend into the environment, and you're kind of just concealed if you don't make any noise or any fast movements. And plus, you got to have this peace in your mind And in a way, it's like, because I think the animals can also sense your state of mind.